Hello! In this video I want to show you how to install Python and one of the integrated development environments, for short IDE, that can be used to effectively and efficiently write code in Python. The IDE of our choice in this video will be Visual Studio Code. But let's start with Python. Open your web browser and go to python.org. Here you find the download section, and this web page has already recognized that I'm using Windows on my computer. So let us press this button that says Python 392, and now an installer for Python is downloaded. Let us press on this file, and then the installer will be started, and now we can install Python. Very important, before you continue, let us add Python to the path. This means that you later can run Python from any folder or directory on your computer. Let us now just press or click on this Install Now. If Python is installed somewhere or in some directory with a path that requires more than 260 characters, then it may not work properly. By path, let us have a look. We mean basically when we open the Explorer, we see here basically the path to Python. And if this path has more than 260 characters, then it may not work properly. So it won't hurt to simply disable the path length limit. Then we can close this window, and now we have installed Python. Let us now run Python from the command prompt. So please click on this search button, type cmd, and then select the command prompt. Type Python, and now you see that Python has started and is running. Let us type some code. For example, let us define a equals 2 and b equals 3, and then let us print the result on the screen, namely of a plus b. You have just run 3 lines of Python code, which calculated a plus b, which is 2 plus 3 is equal 5. Let us close this terminal and let us look at the installation of Visual Studio Code. Again, this web page has recognized that we are running Windows. So let us just click on this button for downloading Visual Studio Code for Windows. So the installer gets downloaded, and when it's ready, then we will just run this installer. When the installer has started, let us just accept the license agreement. Let us press Next. And if we don't want to change the path, then we will just click on Next. Then again, we press on Next, and we don't want to make any changes here, so I will just press Next again, and finally I will press Install. Let us now launch Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is an integrated development environment for many different programming languages, for example, HTML, JavaScript, and others. In order to work with Python, we have to install an extension. And therefore, you can press on this extension button, and then we are looking for an extension that is called Python, which is provided by Microsoft. It's a very popular extension, so you will probably receive a suggestion here on top. So let us click on this extension and let's install it. After having installed this extension, you already see that another extension, namely Jupyter Notebook Support, is also installed. Let us now create our first little Python project. For this purpose, I will go back to my desktop and I will create a new folder, which I call simply First. Going back to Visual Studio Code, let us now open this folder and make it our working directory. So I'm pressing on this Explorer button here in Visual Studio Code. Let's open a folder. And then let's look for this folder, which is in my case on the desktop. I will select this folder and press the Select Folder button. Now the folder is opened. You see here the name of your folder. It's empty, so let us add a file to this folder. I can press on this New File button, or I can also go to this File tab and create a new file. So the file is opened. It's called Untitled. Why don't we save this file? Let us go to the File tab and press Save. And let me give it a name. Namely, I want this file to be named First, just like my folder. But let's not use this text extension. Let us use the Python extension. Let me see if we find it down here. And you see the extension of a Python file is .py or .py. Let us start to write some code. I will begin with a comment, and comments will always begin with a hashtag. Let us now define a variable a equals 2, and then another one, b equals 3. Then let us calculate c equals a plus b. And finally, we will print the result on the screen. This is our first little program. Now let us execute this program. As you see, there will be a terminal starting up here, and it will run your Python file, which is in this directory first, and the Python file is called first.py. The result is 5. This is basically the variable c, which is printed on the screen, which again is defined as a plus b, or 2 plus 3. Let us now also run this program from the Windows command prompt. Let me first save this file. And then let's go to the Windows command prompt. In order to run the Python file, you have to choose the directory where this file is located. So let us look at the folder that we generated. Let us double click this folder and let us copy the address of this directory. Then we go back to the Windows command prompt and let us type cd like change directory, and then we paste the path of this directory. Let's press enter. Then we are basically looking at this directory, or we have selected this directory, and now we can run the Python file. Let us have a look what was the name of our file. It was first.py. In order to run this file, let us write Python and then the file name first.py. We press enter, and then you see the file is run and The only output that is printed on the screen is 5. This was a plus b, or 2 plus 3. So this was our first little Python file that we have generated and run. And in the next video, we will dive deeper into how to use Visual Studio Code for more advanced projects.